Hi, happy Friday. I am so excited to be on vacation in the beautiful state of Washington, a place that I often think of as my second home because I actually lived here for 4 years when I went to college. And I have the pleasure of visiting one of my closest and dearest friends that I actually met in college because she still lives here. So we're having a wonderful time, and I'm just loving being able to be out in nature and just enjoying the fresh air and experiencing all of this. This creek right here behind me is pretty close to her house, and it just so happens that right now is salmon migration season, also what's known as the salmon run, when the salmon come from the ocean and swim upstream so they can spawn. So it's not happening yet, but it could happen at any time, and we're really hoping that it will start to happen or maybe even get to be in full effect while we're still here. So I would just love to see that. I'm told that when it's in full effect that this creek is completely full, like so crowded with so many salmon, which would just be amazing. And my daughter Kayleen actually wants to try to catch one with her bare hands, which I think would be pretty incredible, and I think she probably could. It's so amazing that it's so easy to take inspiration from nature in so many different ways. But when you think about the salmon and all that hard work that they go through to go against the current, fighting hard every inch of the way to achieve their goal, it's pretty remarkable. And I have no doubt that there have been times in your lives that you have had to push against the current and go in the opposite direction in order to achieve goals for yourself. About 11 or 12 years ago, I was really into cycling, and I had set some fitness goals for myself of doing some long distance cycling. So I did two 65-mile races, and I was really proud of myself because that was a really big deal for me. And after the second one, I wanted to push a little further and do something farther, but I knew that 100 miles would be just too much for me. And then I saw an advertisement for a 75-mile ride, and I thought, oh, that's perfect. That is just a little bit longer. If you've never done something like a 65-mile cycling event, another 10 miles might not seem like a big deal, but it actually is to push yourself another 10 miles once you've done 65. So that felt like a perfect goal for me. I trained for it. I did not train nearly as well as I should have. I wasn't as fully ready for it as I should have been. But it didn't matter. On race day, I was determined to do that 75 miles no matter what. So this particular event was on a bike trail that was closed off to anyone other than the cyclists in the event, and they had you go all the way to one end and turn around and come all the way back. When I got to what I found out was the final pit stop, there was only 58 miles on my odometer. And I knew that my car was only 7 miles further that direction. So I asked one of the officiants working at the pit stop, where's the extra 10-mile loop for the people who signed up for the 75-mile event? And she said, oh, yeah, that was a mistake. Somebody miscalculated. It's not 75 miles. It's 65. You've got 7 miles to go. Just keep going that way, and you've got this. You'll be fine. And I went, I don't want to do 65 miles. I've already done that. I want to do 75. That was what I had set out to do. That was my goal. I want to finish that. So even though my thighs were hurting to the bone, literally, because I wasn't as well prepared for this event as I should have been, and I knew my car was only 7 miles directly in front of me, I turned my bike around and I went in the opposite direction, against the flow of all the other cyclists who were behind me. And every single one of them stared at me and gave me really weird looks because I was the only one going the wrong way. And I could tell they were thinking, what is wrong with that girl? Why is she going the wrong way? But I just kept going and kept going and kept going until I hit 5 more miles. And I wasn't seeing any more cyclists anymore. And I turned back around, double back again to go back the other way until I finished. And I clocked, I think I ended up somewhere around 76 miles actually by the time I was done. And I was dead last. I was the last cyclist to arrive, and I did not care. My goals were to finish, be safe, and to do 75 miles, and that's exactly what I did. I do not share this story as a brag. I share it as an example that just because you might be doing the opposite of what everyone else is doing and going against the flow, and you might be getting really weird looks, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's the wrong choice. Maybe that's exactly what you need to do in order to achieve your personal goal. So a question you may want to ask yourself is, if you have a goal right now, or do you have a goal that maybe you haven't set yet, but you've been wanting to, but it would require you to course correct, change direction a little bit, even go completely against the flow of where the current is trying to take you in order to achieve it. Only you know the answer to that. But if the answer is yes, and you don't have to say what it is, although bonus points to you if you do want to comment below what that is. If the answer is yes, I know you can do it, whatever it is. And I don't have to know what the it is. I know that you can. If you would like some support, I would love to cheer you on. Again, you don't even have to share what the thing is. But just be confident in your abilities and knowing that you can do it. I hope you have an amazing day and a wonderful weekend. Take care of yourself, and I will see you next time.